So the impact investing market has really been around for over 2 decades. But what we're really seeing is that demand is picking up, and increasingly so over the last few years. And of course, you've got new areas of impact investing coming to the marketplace. So for example, the area where we're involved, which is the listed equity space of the market, is a much newer area of the market, having been around really only for the last 4 or 5 years or so. So you're starting to see this pickup in demand for impact strategies. In terms of what's driving the demand, we're seeing, of course, many different factors combine. But one of the main overriding factors is really that you've got consumers now driving this imperative for the business world and for governments to do things in a much more sustainable way. And of course, those are being stoked by a broader awareness of issues that we're trying to solve, such as the environmental issue of global warming or plastic finding its way into our oceans, or of course the social issue of some of the healthcare problems that we face right now, or diversity issues, etc. So of course we need a combination of both private and public market impact investments. But public markets are a great way of driving scale of capital into some particular areas of the economy and particular sectors which are suited to some of the SDGs, perhaps, where we need this scale sooner rather than later. So for example, if you look at SDG 3, good health and well-being, that's one of the area to fix some of the challenges that we have with respect to non-communicable disease, or indeed, of course, communicable diseases such as the one we're currently struggling with. You need to see vast amounts of capital go into investments, go into companies to innovate at a very early stage of their life cycle. And therefore, public markets, whether it's through public equity or public debt, are much better suited towards driving the scale of investment that's required for such initiatives. So active ownership and corporate engagement is absolutely key if you're going to have an impact in the public equity or debt markets. We think it's very much key that investors have an engagement program in place with all of their investments to be able to drive additional positive change in the companies in which they're invested in. And I think one of the areas where we are really focused on is, if you're investing clients' capital in businesses which are already on a very positive mission, it doesn't mean that there aren't areas of these businesses, or indeed of the value chains in which they operate, which can't be improved. And I think one of the areas that we're really broadly focusing the scope of our corporate engagement on is in identifying where in these companies negative externalities are occurring, or indeed, as I said, it might be beyond the scope of the company walls where such negative externalities might occur, and then really figuring out collaboratively with the company what we can do to put a realistic engagement program into place with objectives to monitor and see these negative impacts be mitigated over time, thus improving, of course, the net positive impact that such positive mission-driven companies can have. And what it was really key to us wanting to join the Regnan J.O. Hambro family was this access now to a team of research analysts who are focused on sustainability research. So not company-specific research, but really on research around the issues specifically that the team and I are trying to effect a positive change towards. And of course, looking therefore at some of the solutions, the products and services that really exist to help solve or contribute towards solving these environmental and social problems. So that's really exciting to us. But again, the process will be built around our SDG taxonomy, into which Regnan and the broader Regnan research team will feed this sustainability research into. In terms of at which stage the impact analysis is integrated, well, it's hard to really give you a particular stage, because impact analysis truly is integrated through the entire stage of the investment process. So it really starts in terms of the idea generation with our SDG taxonomy and the ability to use this SDG taxonomy to identify first and foremost the products and services that are contributing towards solutions for the environmental and social challenges we're trying to address. And of course, from that then going on to find the listed companies that are selling these solutions. We then use our impact assessment to set the bar really high. So even though our investment universe is some 2,200 companies today, we set the bar really high in terms of which of those 2,200 companies can actually make it through the investment process with our impact assessment, which really looks only for purely mission-driven companies where we can show that this particular company's product and service, the way they've done it through either using R&D driven innovation or through enabling access to parts of the market that otherwise wouldn't have access, has driven additional positive impacts beyond those that are being driven by their peers.